Have you heard artists say, "I've taken black completely off my palette," and wondered why? I'm here to show you why. I'm Katie Liddiard, and I want to tell you why black tends to be a problematic color if you use it straight out of the tube, and why it's probably healthier to just mix your own blacks. So I have this little demo here. I have this square that is just straight ivory black out of the tube. And then I've mixed it with white, with lead white, for this grayscale here. You can see that it's already starting to chip off. This is the problem with ivory black, is the paint film itself is not very strong. Ivory black tends to be what's called a fatty oil paint, which means that there's more oil in the paint to make it actually paint than a lot of the other colors. Where lead white has very, very little oil content, so it's a stronger paint to paint on and with. So if you do mix it with lead white, it will tend to be stronger. But if you're just mixing it, or if you're just using it on your own, it will be a bit of a weak paint film. And I'll show you that it will sink in pretty rapidly as well. So your value judgments will be affected by that. So you can see that it's pretty matte right now, but look how much is missing once I bring that oil back to it. What's happening is the oil is getting sucked into the ground here of the primer, and it makes it very hard to judge in my painting overall if I'm missing that much value in my black because of that sinking in. So you can see the difference there as well. Now, if we mix our black, I have a mixture of alizarin, ultramarine, and Van Dyke brown there that, yeah, it sunk in some, but it's not going to be as problematic of a color. And you can see just how similar they are in terms of value depth that I'm getting. But the thing with this is that it's going to be a lot stronger of a paint film. It's not going to chip away. It's not going to kind of deteriorate nearly as terribly as the black out of the tube. And you can see this little chip right here just from me transporting this demo to this spot. So very problematic, obviously. And then I'll oil out this and you can see kind of the difference there as well. This is my Van Dyke brown thread that I mixed up here. And you can see the difference of the warmth of the Van Dyke versus a bit of the coolness of the ivory black. And then the purpley tones that I get with the alizarin, ultramarine, and the Van Dyke, which of course alizarin and ultramarine are purple. Then I add the Van Dyke, which is more of a neutral, so that it will kind of bring a more dull gray to that purple. But on the whole, it's still a very dark, strong paint film. So that's why I've taken ivory black off of my palette, and I encourage people to do the same if they're not really familiar with the pigment.